I have to change. I have to change. Chapters. Changing the chapters. Am I stupid? There it is. Okay. Got it. It's massive. Hello, and, nope. Not a staller, but apparently I'm an auntie. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Hello, Zen, hello, Louv, hello, Nito. Yeah, the emotes did work. No, don't do the forehead. I'm just gonna change the name of the forehead. I put it as 10 head. I'm just gonna change it to Auntie, because, you know, that's where we're at. Fuck, that one is gonna haunt me. It was okay, here's the thing. It was taken in 0.5, so, like, that's why it is the way that it is. It doesn't help that I also look like I have a receding hairline in the photo. Hi, David. We're just talking about the photo with my forehead, you know. Yeah. I love how you guys were like, if you didn't like it, we wouldn't do it. Fucking liars. Yes, you would. Yes, you would. If I was like, hey, I don't really like this, you guys would be like, that sucks. That sucks, Dara. Hello. Hello. I'm not, bro. I ain't dressed as a grandma. I'm dressed as a, you know. I just got like a black shirt on. That's all. Did David not? Is David one of the people that did get gifted? Not gonna lie. Kind of ironic. Also, no, bro, Stan also didn't get a gift? How did the two people that didn't get one, it was Stan's and, yes, I did say I would do a Forrest cosplay. So, I will probably do one. I'll get all this stuff and I'll get it done here pretty soon. It might take me a minute because I do have, like, a busy schedule coming up, and I do have because if I do it, I want to do it right, and I have quite a few expenses coming up late in the next little bit, so, like, I'm gonna aim for end of March, April. That's that's when I'm gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna stall. I'm gonna give you a set timeline. I'm gonna say end of March, beginning of April, it'll be done. That'll be what it is. That's when I'll do the Forrest cosplay. By then, my hair might even be longer, and maybe I'll have bangs to try and cover up my forehead. We'll do that. Here I have. No, I do really like fours. I do really like fours now. I do regret looking back on all the slander I gave her in Volume 3. Yeah. That was... Bro, why you guys... here's the thing. You guys bully me on my forehead, but then when I say I'm gonna get bangs, you guys are like, don't get bangs. To, like, try and hide the forehead. Just get a wig for the back. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so we're at chapter... Damn. 4s for forehead. Absolutely. What 4s... What... I'm saying 4s. Would bangs make it worse? No, bro, I didn't like 4s because I just thought she wasn't a good, like, she was just kind of there. There was nothing to her character. There wasn't anything really to her character. And then there's that one scene where I kind of clicked in, like, what actually happens to her. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is actually kind of cool. I do like her character. And then as it started going, you got to see more from her point of view, which then I was like, okay, taking my hating goggles off, she's actually not that bad. There you go. Bro, calling it an airport forehead and then also adding Auntie is crazy. Okay. Chapter 847, the name hidden in the dossiers. A carriage passed by Oakland Street as Leonard Mitchell and two red-gloved teammates discussed the target they were investigating this time, Dwayne Dantes. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this. 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 I still haven't had any direct contact with the gentleman. I've only investigated the servants and neighbors. Cindy, who had a long nope. Waiting super long and I can't even fucking read it. Who had long wine red hair, introduced her her findings. For now, it has been confirmed that Dwayne Dantes has acted the same since last night to this morning. He went up to the bedroom to sleep at 11 and finished washing up at 7:30 in the morning. At times, he would have some supper and end the day after midnight. At times, he would wake up before 7 and head out for a stroll, but that's not the norm. Another red glove, Bob. Fucking dumbass name. No offense to somebody named Bob. It's just like, yo, my name's Bob. I'm red glove Bob. So stupid. Noted and said, from this point of view, there's nothing wrong with Dwayne Dantes. Leonard Mitchell, too, sat in a seemingly casual manner, immediately said with a smile, but the reverse can also be true. According to what we've currently gathered, the missing servant was likely replaced between 11:20 and 11:35 last night. The infiltrator entered Chanis Gate at 6 in the morning. We've discovered the problem at 7:20 a.m. without finding the target. It can thus be said that during the infiltration, Dwayne Dantes was sleeping and lacked the ability or the alibi. What you say makes sense. Cindy glanced at Leonard in surprise. Her impression of this teammate of hers was one who often had judgment or question and pointed to the core of the problem. However, he seldom described his logic in great detail. He was more of a desultory poet who occasionally had epiphanies. Bob, who had a sharp chin, frowned. B.O.B. because I call you Bob. Actually, no, we don't do that. We don't like Nick anymore. Sorry. Frowned as he shook his head. If that's the case, everyone on this name list cannot be cleared of suspicion. They were sleeping with no one watching them. Even if they have wives or husbands, they would similarly be sleeping at such times. Also, I don't believe an infiltrator would be so bold. He had already entered Chanis Gate and managed to successfully escape, completing an unimaginable feat. Yet, he stays nearby and hasn't abandoned his identity or gone far away. How is this possible? I know, I stopped myself. The risk involved cannot be predicted unless he's also planning something else, or he cannot bear the part with certain things. But what can compare to infiltrating Chanis Gate? What can compare to those sealed artifacts, ingredients, and formulas? If I didn't know that Dwayne Dantes was problematic in the first place, I would have come to the same conclusion. Leonard had already thought of an explanation as he crossed his right legs. I'm just saying why we can't so easily strike off Dwayne Dantes from the suspects. Besides, Captain Soas has said it. The infiltrator might have already died behind Chanis Gate. Even if Dwayne Dantes isn't involved, he might very well be an accomplice. Don't you find it too much of a coincidence? He moved in for less than 2 months, and the church encounters something that might never happen in centuries. Besides, he has been visiting Samuel Cathedral too frequently. He had ample opportunities to figure out the corresponding situations. Also, during this period of time, there were strange sewer explosions along Oakland Street. Cindy bunched up her long red hair and said, "You've convinced me. This should be a target that we will put our focus on." Bob pulled out the ends of his left palm, right glove, and said, "There are indeed many coincidences." PTSD from that word. However, coincidences might not be equivalent to problems. Even if Dwayne Dantes goes to the cathedral daily and listens to the bishop's preachings, all he could do is understand the layout and not obtain deeper informations, such as when the keepers will head to Channis Gate and how the handover is done with the Nighthawks. Therefore, he's more likely one of the accomplices, Leonard said with a shrug. He similarly didn't understand how Dwayne Dantes would understand the internal protocols of the Nighthawks so well. Cindy echoed, "Regardless, we have to do a deeper investigation. We have to do a deeper investigation. Shall we wait till noon and directly enter Dwayne Dantes' dream to question him? He has the habit of taking afternoon naps." Leonard raised his right hand and waved it gently. "There's no need to be in such a hurry. It's not like we've never done any routine inspections in the past or entered his dreams, but we didn't discover anything wrong. If there really is nothing wrong with him, we wouldn't gain anything from entering his dream again. If there's a problem with him, the fact that he didn't expose himself back then means he has the means to resist an inquiry during the dreams." Bro, Leonard's kind of getting smart. We will still be fooled by him if we enter his dream again. Therefore, we should monitor him and see what kinds of people he interacts with, so as to prevent him from escaping while waiting for Desi's response about the Tycoon's true identity. Once we discover any clues, we will request to use the higher level investigation method, then questioning him in dreams. Cindy was once again surprised, as she couldn't help but joke, "It's rare to see you analyze the situation so seriously." Furthermore, it's because it's his husband. Furthermore, his thought process was extremely clear. Leonard fell silent and gave a self-deprecating comment. "Perhaps it's because I've encountered something similar." Instantly, Cindy felt that Leonard's green eyes had turned darker. She didn't speak further. "Let's take turns to monitor Dwayne Dantes. I'll go first." "All right." Leonard nodded and turned to Bob. Get the case files on the sewer explosion. Let's see if we can discover any problems. I'll head back to reading through the corresponding dossiers and see if there are any other abnormalities on the street." After splitting the work, the three red gloves began their work. Leonard returned to St. Samuel Cathedral's basement. What am I reading right now? St. Samuel Cathedral's basement. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Delicious. Yeah, thank you, Fox. Who is it? Fox Die 2100. Thank you. Okay, now back to trying to read this. And obtained the information involving Oakland Street in the case of the Aurora Order had actively or passively involved themselves in the past. Here's the thing. Love the support. Thank you so much. I hope you don't expect me to read it well. I'll read it, but reading it well is always the question. Or passively involved themselves in the past 3 years. The latter was something that sparked off the clue provided by the parasite in him. It gave him an idea. Since the Fool's existence and the corresponding honorific name initially came from the Aurora Order, it means that the Aurora Order was involved in something. Oh, good. Okay, perfect. Well, at least you understand. Thank you. Or had suffered some setbacks. It might be related to the organization that believes in the Fool. After returning to the office, Leonard held back his desultory attitude as he very seriously read through the thick dossiers. In the dossier related to the Aurora Order, there was the Nevis case he was most familiar with, the true creator's descent. He failed terribly because of some baffling report. The mysterious person had appeared to kill the main criminal. He was suspected to be related to Hero Bandit Black Emperor. Is Leonard gonna figure it all out? Is Leonard gonna, put everything and, figure it all out in the same thing? David, you got a membership. There we go. Thank you so much. That's so very sweet of you. Oh my gosh, thank you. As I butcher your favorite book. That's so sweet. Thank you. Oh. Did Stan get one too? Finally. Bro, I don't think you understand how happy you just made Stan. I was gonna fucking give him one if he didn't get one this time. There we go. Honestly, my sister wife also got one, because apparently we have to share Garam and Sparrow, which if I have to. But no, thank you very much. Thank you. See, that's what I'm saying. Some of the too bad, David, you're my lawyer, you have to have it. It's not a good look. It's that's fine. No, that's totally fine. Whatever is whatever is. It's all good. Oh, David, now you get access to the forehead photo. Yep. And yeah, I'm reading a web novel. Sometimes the wording is really weird. I use that as an excuse, like, a lot of the time. But in actuality, it's sometimes just me. Hello, welcome. I can go second. Whatever. Yeah, bro. Thank you. You actually, this is this is gonna be payment for David's lawyer fees and all the moderators. A mysterious person has appeared to kill the main criminal. He was suspected to be related to hero bandit Black Emperor as a targeted evil criminal. Also, hello, Misfortune. Criminal. He would scatter tarot cards over the target's corpse. That person wasn't able to do it for Desire Apostle Jason Beria, only because Leonard has rushed over too quickly. Similarly, Leonard once again saw the name Sherlock Morardi appear in the periphery of the case. Aurora orders Mr. X was assassinated at the gathering. He convened. There was traces of power at the demigod level. Left on the scene at this point in time, Dwayne Dantes has already arrived in Oakland. It matches perfectly. Aurora orders Mr. Sal and the Demoness X cooperated to create a great smog of Oakland. This person vanished as a result. Aurora orders Mr. A has assassinated the Intis ambassador. Leonard read case after case, but he didn't find anything of use. He rubbed his temples and decided to attack it from all different angles. He began from the cases related to Hero Bandit Black Emperor, Leniva's case, murder case seen from the tarot cards thrown in the ritual, and the Fool is in the beginning of the tarot cards. Kapim's case from the strength and levels showcased by the Hero Bandit Black Emperor. He won't and wouldn't mimic others. He similarly scattered tarot cards on the corpse. Desire Apostle Jason Beria. I saw Hero Bandit Black Emperor with my own eyes, preventing him from scattering the cards in time. Apart from major events and evil criminals, what other connections do these three cases have? Leonard had previously considered the relevant question that was certain that Detective Sherlock Morardi had been partially involved in the Leniva's case and Kapim cases. Then, what about the Desire Apostle cases? Leonard found the addendum and began leafing through them. Finally, he spotted a line in an inconspicuous spot. People attacked involved Isengard Stanton, Sherlock Moriarty. Bro, it's the fact that he's right there, but he just can't get it. Leonard's expression slowly turned excited as he thought he had discovered a breakthrough. He flipped through the Aurora Order's dossier and didn't miss out on any of the names involved. He kept expanding his search and requested for all of the dossiers that involved every name. Aurora orders Mr. A assassined an Intis ambassador. The Intis ambassador was in charge of other conflicts over the different engine manuscripts. The clues to the manuscripts came from a spy who usually acted as a private detective. It is reported that another private detective was embroiled in the matter and had nearly been killed by a gang member under the command of the Intis ambassador, another private detective. Leonard suddenly stood up as he left St. Samuel Cathedral and headed for the police station and handled the case back then. Most of the dossiers had been taken away by MI9. Leonard still found the name of the person who was made by the police report, Sherlock Moriarty. I now have reason to believe that the great detective was also involved in the Great Smog of Oakland. Among the various people who were involved, his name appears right at the periphery of the matter. He and Dwayne Dantes all belong to a secret organization that believes in the Fool. Yes! Oh my god, I'm so excited. Where was I? Leonard thought as his corners of his lips curled up. He decided to immediately search for more information to verify his conjecture. 160 Oakland Street inside the master bedroom. Klein didn't have... I know, I'm like, Leonard, they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. Keep your mouth shut. Klein didn't have any Nighthawks enter his dream during his afternoon nap, but once again he returned to the foggy town. He saw Demoness of Despair, Paniatia, with her smile showcasing blood-colored flesh in between the gaps of her teeth. He saw her slowly being hung up as her eyes rolled back in despair before her head drooped down. The hung corpse and horrifying gigantic mushroom, the cluster of countless translucent maggots. Yeah, dude, I'm actually so good. Actually so good. From his dream, he rubbed his temples. Klein found that his mind was in terrible condition. This wasn't a problem that could be resolved by the gray fog. He fell into deep thought and entered a bathroom and arrived above the gray fog. He conjured Garamond and made him pray. Please pass on my question to Miss Justice about when she will be free. I wish to receive some psychotherapy. Kind of facts, though, because, like, he's really struggling. He's really, really struggling. Got it. Bro, Garamond's needed to go to therapy since, like, chapter... Honestly, here's the thing. He should have gone the second he got transmigrated, and it's like, hey, let's talk about it. And then after Volume 1, it's like, no, this should have been court-mandated. It should have been, you know, forced upon him. That's what I'm saying. We love a book that encourages mental health at the forefront. We're just like, hey, this tragic stuff has happened. Maybe, just maybe, you should seek help for it. And yeah, I know, correct spelling. See, the bullying works. Bullying, as much as I don't want to say it, it kind of worked. I learned how to spell. Learned how to read a lot better, too. Who knows what else I can get bullied into doing better? Back in Ember's burrow inside the Hall family's luxurious manor, Audrey had just tried on 3 selections of evening gowns, and she was sitting on a cushioned chair, wondering how they could be matched with her accessories and which one she was more inclined toward. She also pondered over her mother's opinion. At this moment, she suddenly saw an endless grayish-white and blurry figure watching down at everything from high above appeared before her eyes. Immediately after that, she saw another figure. It was a praying figure that had been shrouded in the gray fog. Her ears resounded with the corresponding words. Instead of being alarmed, Audrey was delighted. Her unease and worry that there wasn't a tarot gathering today was instantly quelled. As expected, it was nothing. Oh, Mr. World really has a psychological problem. He must have been under immense stress recently. It's no wonder he booked an appointment in advance. Audrey sighed as she began to reconsider when she was free. As she pondered, she scanned the maids who were busy in her room with the golden retriever. Susie, who was still sitting by the door, Audrey's lips curled up slightly as an irresistible manner as she bowed her head and secretly prayed in response. Please tell Mr. World that I'm currently free. He can determine the time and location as long as it's not nighttime and doesn't exceed the borough west of Backland. In regards to this, the golden retriever who was observing the maid's work seemed to sense someone looking at her. She suspiciously turned her head and looked in Audrey's direction. However, it failed to discover any problems. Above the gray fog inside the palace that looked like a giant's residence, she's free at any time. Periods when the convenient to head out won't leave places she's familiar with. Klein rubbed his temples as he interpreted Miss Justice's reply. His first reaction was that it was best done today or tomorrow, and to have her determine the location. Then he could use creeping hunger to teleport there, but he soon thought of a problem. Dwayne Dantes was part of the Nighthawks investigation. It was very possible that he was being monitored. Therefore, rashly traveling could easily expose him. Big brain Klein. Wait a few days, or Klein seriously thought about it as he conjured the world Garamond Sparrow and prayed once again. Please inform His Justice that let's do it today above the grey fog. Audrey's eyes widened. She found an answer provided by Mr. World exceeded her expectations. How was she supposed to get Susie to be her stand-in? Besides, there were many details that I'm unable to see or clearly sense while inside Mr. Fool's palace. It will seriously hamper any psychotherapy. Audrey calmed her sense of alarm as she posed her doubt from the position of viability and requested Mr. Fool to pass it on to Mr. World. Before long, she received a reply again. I will request Mr. Fool to remove those restrictions. We'll use other means to conceal our true appearances. That can be done. This is a special treatment that treatment one gets from being Mr. Fool's bless. Our continuous communication is almost like a conversation. It's really troubled Mr. Fool, and he seems to almost allow us to indulge in it. Audrey's thoughts raced as she stopped finding excuses. All right, let's do it between 11:30 and 12:30 tonight. She didn't believe that she would have anywhere to be alone before and end her birthday ball. Oh, it's her birthday. It's her birthday today. At the same time, in the building at 39 Oakland Street, Hazel was looking at the selected evening gowns in boredom. As she listened to her mother's repeated exhortations, she was accompanied by her parents to attend Miss Audrey Hall's birthday ball. Just as Hazel brought her thoughts were wandering in her mind, gradually turning blank, she saw a grayish-white rat appear by the door. It was frantically waving its paw. This, Hazel patiently listened to her mother repeat herself one more time before finding an excuse to return to her bedroom. After she closed and locked the door, the grayish-white rat appeared from somewhere and arrived by her feet. It sat there in a rather comical manner. I've discovered something wrong with the surroundings. The rat had sent vibrations in the air to speak with human words. Hazel wasn't surprised at all that as she asked in puzzlement, what's wrong? The grayish-white rat raised its right forepaw and pointed to the window. There are beyonders from the Church of Evernight investigating this street. It's at a rather large scale. Okay. Bro, they got Stuart Little up in this bitch. What are they looking for? Hazel asked with a slight frown. The grayish-white rat slowly inhaled and said, how would I know? But it's definitely something very serious. This way, they might very well discover something wrong with you. Hazel asked, feeling somewhat worried and confused. How did they make the discovery? Weren't there clues and the sewers blasted away? Weren't the corresponding problems dealt with? The grayish-white was momentarily unsure about what to say. A few seconds later, it vaguely replied, official beyonders have plenty of strange but effective investigation methods. In short, I'll have to deal with your dream. This is where it's easy to divulge things. Hazel looked down at the rat as her knitted brows relaxed. All right, then. Don't look so unwilling. It wasn't easy for me to accumulate this but of strength, and now it's going to waste once again. It's on the street cursed. First, it was that demoness with a strange condition. Following that, Hero Black Emperor... Hero Bandit Black Emperor appeared. Now there's some baffling and unknown situations that made the Nighthawks pay serious attention to the street. The grayish-white rat squeaked in frustration. Harsh, I'm trying to speak. No, dude. This is my first language and I can't even do it. Damn. At 7:30 in the evening, Hazel accompanied her. You would think I had Tourette's. Call me. I'm not even gonna fucking look at that because I know it's gonna be mean. I know it's gonna be. What is it? Now I'm curious. Now I'm super curious what you're doing here. Oh, this fucking kid. Yeah. To be honest, this kid probably fucking speaks better than me. He would do a better job.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Let's be super real about that. Oh. As it was a birthday ball today, she didn't manage to directly meet Miss Audrey Hall. All she did was quietly stay by her parents' side and exchange pleasantries with Earl Hall, Lady Caitlin, and Lord Hibbert Hall. To her, these respected aristocrats were in essence the same as commoners, therefore she didn't appear nobly reserved. Her actions and tones were rather liberal. Bro, Hazel's a fucking bitch. Like, I don't know if we're supposed to like her, but I don't. Like, Cuttlefish did a good job in making her just really unlikable in every facet. If it wasn't because of her mother's repeated exaggerations, Hazel didn't believe that the beautiful dance floor and murals with high aristocratic value and elegance outstanding statues are more than worthy of respect. As she smiled, the same people she knew and didn't know, Hazel finally waited until the ball began. She saw the start of tonight's show. Miss Audrey Hall held the arms of the Earl and the Earl's wife as she walked out of the room on the second floor before arriving at the railings and faced the dance floor. Hazel scanned her with habitual ignored her appearance as she observed the matching of her gown and accessories. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if we were supposed to like Hazel. I really don't like her. Yeah, also hi transparent. Yeah. And does transparent not have one? Bro, there's been so many that have been given out. However, her gaze was unable to move away. On the chandelier hanging above, the oil candles produced light that came with a dreamy color. When shining on 18-year-old Audrey, it made her emerald eyes peer in an indiscernible face, and luxurious gold hair seemed to glow. It made her gown and accessories loose and lustrous. Okay, good. I'm happy that it's fine to not like her. Yeah. Because I really, yeah. Hazel was momentarily caught into a daze. She failed to hear what Earl Hall had said until the melody filled the floors and she snapped into her daze when Audrey Hall began the opening dance with the Earl. The always proud her had suddenly... Oh, I understand it now. The always proud her, comma, had sudden... There's no comma there. That's why I was getting messed up. Had suddenly felt a little inferior. She felt even if this striking lady didn't possess any beyond her powers, there was no way Audrey was inferior to her. Hazel pursed her lips and looked around. She realized that everyone's gaze had been grabbed. The only difference was that they all had different feelings about the situation. Hazel heaved a sigh of relief. Dude, yes, make Hazel jealous. I want to see her cry. I fucking hate her. Get rid of her. Audrey, make her feel like a peasant. Make her feel like the scum on your shoe. Yeah, absolutely. This happened. This night, she didn't act as arrogant again. However, she yearned to leave at every minute of the night. She wanted to head home and busy herself with the matter and obtain more magical and powerful abilities. Finally, the ball came... Oh, were you guys talking about those weird-ass little thingies you were doing in the Discord? Those things are creepy, bro. There was only one dude that I liked, and it was the guy with the glasses. The other ones all looked like they would bite you. Like, squish them up, drop kick, boot kick across the field. That's how I felt about every single other one of those. On the way out, Hazel couldn't help but look back. She saw Miss Audrey standing along the side of the dance floor. With a faint and beautiful smile, she expressed her gratitude to each and every guest that was about to leave. She seems to remain under the spotlight. After the end of the birthday ball, Audrey looked off her accessories and changed into her sleeping gown before entering the... Bro, your kids are fucking ugly. Sorry. The only cute one was the one that I had. That was the only one. All the other ones I was like, that looks like its parents or cousins. Actually, no. That looks like its parents or siblings. Just saying. As she looked at the white steam emanating with her bathrobe beside her, Audrey wasn't in a rush to soak herself inside. She first sat in the corner and prayed to Mr. Fool and indicated that she was ready. Hi Merlin. In about 10 seconds, she saw crimson light surge at the tidal wave, drowning her. Above the gray fog, Audrey appeared in the side of her long bronze table. This time, she didn't see Mr. Fool, who was enshrouded in gray fog. She discovered that the ancient confessional was it was a brown crate that was 1.5 times the height of a person. There were doors on both sides, and the wooden plank separated the area in between them. I thought Mr. World would request Mr. Fool to conjure a wall, which we will use to communicate across, although it's essentially the same. A confessional is cramped and dark, and he really doesn't know how to consider a lady's feelings. Yes, I would find it odd if Mr. World did that. As Audrey suffused a smile, she walked to the ajar door of the confessional. She bent her back and entered before sitting down with her legs bent sideways. Okay. After closing the wooden door, Audrey was treating the patient in a true sense of the word, and the first time silently felt a little excited. Immersed in the darkness and environment, her mood made her loosen up from the many rules she had to abide. What the fuck? I don't know, because I was like trying to envision, like, because I was thinking of like what Audrey was doing. I was like, I don't know. That was kind of all it was, you know? She curled her lips and reached out her fingers and gently tapped on the wooden partition. Hello, Mr. World, are you there? Sitting cross-legged opposite her, crisscross applesauce, Klein was infected by Miss Justice's cheerful tone. His emotions relaxed as he said, "You may begin." This time, he didn't use the gray fog to enshroud himself, but he had turned himself into Gammon Sparrow. Indeed, Mr. World's mental state isn't too good. He's too tense and worried. Audrey sensed him first and then used the psychiatrist placard. A gentle, invisible wave emanated over Klein's instantly felt a cool, refreshing morning breeze blow at him during the hot summer days. The frustration and feverish feelings without him suddenly vanished. Seeing Mr. World having made his obvious recovery, she secretly heaved a sigh of relief and asked softly, "Have you had any nightmares lately?" You bet he has. Honey, if I could tell you about the dreams that this man has been having. You'd be shaking in your boots. Especially the one that she was in. Oh my gosh. Bro. If Audrey ever found out about that, cut. Done. Cut from the program. It was already weird enough. Nightmares. Klein deliberated for 2 seconds and said yes. A dream of a town that's enshrouded in fog. Question. I have a question. So you know how the... Bro, I know. So you know how the town was, like, shrouded in fog? Does that have anything to do with the fog in the gray fog? Like, are they the same fogs? The fog in the town, and then the fog in the space above? Are they the same fogs? Because I'm getting the feeling that they're the same. I was wondering that earlier, where I was like, bro, it's like the foggy town, and then it's the space above the gray fog above. So I'm like, oh, I'm assuming they come from the same thing. Would that mean, question, would that mean that, would you get to, like, because you were on the Hornicus mountain range in the, like, foggy town, when Klein is gonna hit, like, sequence 4 and we get to finally go up those stairs, and I used to think that Adam was up in those stairs, but I don't think he's up in those stairs anymore. I think he's just, like, roaming around. I'm wondering if, like, up in those stairs is, like, the way to get to, like, the like, you can go to, like, the Hornicus mountain range, but like a different part of it, or it's like a secret spot in the spirit world, or it's like a place to go to like, question. So you know the place, the place when we were in Grozel's dream, and it had to do with the giants, and we couldn't go in because Grozel hadn't been there. Is that the place that's above the stairs in the Grey Fog? No? I'm just gonna... No? Okay. In the middle of the town, the Black Cathedral corpses are hung inside. To wear clothes... Bro, I don't know what you guys are meaning when you just put in 4s. Or my head. The clothes are different eras and sway in the wind and produce strange sounds. Apart from that, there's a beautiful lady whose gaps in her teeth are filled with the blood-colored human flesh. Honestly, flesh. A mushroom man formed from countless tiny mushrooms. To treat his psychology problems, Klein reconstructed his dream in a rather complete manner. However, he didn't say that he had encountered those things in reality, nor divulge that he knew the beautiful lady's identity and the strange mushroom origins. At the same time, he hid the existence of the cluster of translucent maggots in Zeratil. Oh, also, I'm wondering if, like, so Zeratil's, like, still there, because he... Audrey listened intently and seriously, based on her beyond her intuition and knowledge from mysticism and psychology. She said with a complete, Mr. World, I can imagine such a terrifying and sinister dream. I can also experience the immense horror that it brings you. Seeing that there wasn't any rebuttal from the other side of the wooden partitions, Audrey grew inconfident. She sitting silently did another round of placet and began guiding. Hi, fruit. The horror that appeared in the dreams and often stemmed from feelings hidden deep in the heart. And there were other two sources of horror that were in one's heart. One is the unknown, and the second is what cannot be resisted. The terrifying things you see in your dreams are only superficial. What you are really afraid of is what they represent and symbolize, the truth hidden behind them. As she spoke, Audrey suddenly asked, what is it? Klein was gradually relaxing and scrutinizing himself as he took to Miss Justice's gentle and sweet voice. When he suddenly heard the question, he subconsciously answered the existence that created all of that. He paused and hesitantly asked, they are both an unknown and cannot be resisted. At this point, Klein knew he was having nightmares, as well as the true reason for his terrible mental state. He instinctively felt horrified over certain matters and instinctively and latently negative emotions. The former included the cluster of translucent maggots that Zeratil's terrifying performance. There was also the racer angel baffling actions, and the fact that using the dark sacred emblem was the key to opening the door. They separately created a mood of despair that seemed impossible to resist, as well as feeling and not knowing who was friend or foe, and their ploys. Do you think that, like... Bro, okay, so I know it's like a crazy theory. I know it's such a crazy theory. But I just feel like... Because in the book, everything's, like, meant to happen. Like, everything happens, and everything just, like... It's all just ending up... It all just happens too fucking, like, perfectly. Not perfectly, but it just, like, it has to happen the way that it does. And it just always ends up working in Klein's favor. So I feel like he's behind it. Or, like, whoever is behind it, I don't know. I just feel like Klein is somehow pulling the strings behind it without realizing it. And it's not Klein, but it's someone. Or it's somebody else who's, like, pulling the strings and they just need Klein to get somewhere, to do something. Because it's like every single time he's about to die or every single time something's about to happen, he always manages to get out of it. Or some, like, when he went to open the door and, like, he was gonna end up having the whole thing happen to. It's like she just happened to betray him, which we all kind of knew she was going to, but like she just did, and then she got sucked in, and then there was the whole thing. I don't know, it's so convenient how everything works out. It's just so convenient. So I know it's a crazy theory. I'm still sticking with the theory that Klein is like secretly behind everything. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm still sticking with the theory that it's Klein that's secretly behind everything and doing everything, and it's a time loop. That's, I until I'm proven wrong. Because every single chapter I read, it always brings me back to it being like a time loop, and Klein making sure that Klein does everything that he's supposed to do. I'm never gonna give up this theory until I'm proven wrong. No, you can't laugh. I'm fearful of the goddess whose thoughts are unknown, as well as the eraser angel. Also, with the eraser angel, like, she is part of the demonic wolf, and then she's also... So, like, I'm wondering if she's, like... I want to... Because I'm like, where does she stay? Where does she come from? I wonder if she was just, like, one of the demonic wolves followers, like, back then, maybe? And then switched over, and then, like, ended up having both of them. Like, it was kind of like their love child, you know? But, like, not their love child. Between, like, the demonic wolf and then and then, like, the Evernight goddess. And it's, like, a mix of both. And that's why she's, like, the keeper of, like, the foggy town in Hornicus Mountain Range. What if she's gonna be up the stairs? Because I feel like it has to, like, add in and make sense. Because it can only... Also, because it could only, like, do it with the seer pathway. Psychologist would find you. Okay, sorry, okay. As well as the eraser angel, Klein slowly exhaled and admitted his fears. Audrey used Placid once again and discovered that Mr. World's tense mind is essentially relaxed. She was delighted, she boldly said, one of the biggest sources of fear is the lack of confidence. Try recalling if you had any oversight in any had committed any mistakes in the related matter. This results in your spirit repeatedly warning you to hinting to you. It eventually transformed into parts of nightmare. Oversight and mistakes warning from my spirit. Klein pondered over Miss Justice's words and seriously began organizing the details of the matter and resulted in the horror. Soon his expression turned heavy bit by bit as he discovered any problems. I swore an oath to the goddess bearing witness via the holy sword, although I hadn't become a clown, with the Grey Fog's powers yet to have entered the real world, preventing me from being noticed by special deities, demigods, and spirit world creatures. However, I couldn't fool fate. Which would also be a beyonder of the monster pathway. Which is... Who's in the... Can I... 107... And the goddess has another title. She is the Empress of Misfortune and Horror. She wields control over misfortune and is one of the deities of the domain of fate. Therefore, I was noticed from back then. Klein's heart sank bit by bit as the horror that stemmed from the unknown was greatly alleviated. He didn't reply, nor did he wait for Miss Justice to speak again. He switched to asking, if you will face one or even many difficulties to challenge enemies, what would you do? Audrey was annoyed by her patient's question and said she felt that it was a good sign. After some deliberation, she said, first avoid them and hide. Try harder to improve yourself. What if time won from avoiding and hiding isn't enough to make you grow to a level that is sufficient enough to face your enemies? Klein pressed, what if the gap between the two is difficult to bridge? Audrey answered him seriously while also consoling him, find enough helpers. No, I didn't forget the monster pathway. I didn't. I was just thinking in my brain who was all in the monster pathway that we, like, know about. That She wields fortune as one of the deities in the domain of fate. Gap between the two is difficult to bridge. Find enough helpers. Names suddenly flashed across Klein's mind as his heart felt a lot more settled. He continued asking, what if the enemies cannot be resisted even when with helpers? What if they're helpers who are plotting something that might be beneficial to you, but they might also bring you harm? Audrey drew a blank, and after a few seconds of thought, she replied, you can pray to a deity. Pray to yourself. She nearly said to the world, you can seek Mr. Fool's help. And from that question and answer session, Audrey was able to confirm the matter. Mental problems that Mr. World was suffering stemmed from powerful and terrifying enemies. But there was a worry, there was a worry that at a deeper level, the helpers had unknown stances. Pray to a deity. Klein didn't dare to directly say what if deities could resolve it, because the thought of deities are even harder to fathom. After all, this was the Fool's kingdom, and he was blessed. He organized his words and said deities can only provide help in certain areas, and what if it isn't enough? Audrey originally wanted to say that there was always a way, and that good was bound to defeat evil, but she couldn't convince herself of it. She can provide any relevant case studies, so eventually she pursed her lips and said, I don't know. Audrey's, bro, go back to school, Audrey. You're not being a very good therapist right now. The therapy isn't therapizing. In the confessional, it was still darkness. The two temporarily stopped speaking as if they fell into a respective internal struggle. Finally, Audrey broke the silence and looked at the wooden partition. Regardless, something needs to be done. Work hard at it, and you can just give up. And you can't just give up like that and not put up a fight. That's right. At the very least, I still have many secrets and things to rely on. Klein closed his eyes as he leaned on the wooden plank. He thought slowly round from the most recent events as he was no longer constantly tense and offered frustration. Audrey sensed a change and immediately added a placid. With that, Klein's mental condition was completely restored back to normal. I feel much better. Transparent is drawing slander of me? What kind? Bro, what kind of slander? What kind of slander? Audrey sensed his change and immediately added a placid. With that, Klein's mental condition was completely restored back to normal. I feel much better. Thank you for your treatment. What kind of consultation fee do you want? Klein offered. Actually, I should be the one thanking you for providing me an opportunity to handle a case. Audrey didn't really wish to collect any fees as she looked at the wooden partition. I didn't disrespect your child. I disrespected all of the children you and David had. And Quantum. It wasn't just yours. All of them. They all look, a little, as well as his experience and ruthless demeanor. His mental problems likely also have to do with his personality. Audrey suddenly had an idea as she smiled. The consultation fee that I've charged isn't much at all. Yes. Yeah, wish me happiness. What's going on? Klein was momentarily stunned. He nearly forgot he was wearing the facade of Gammon Sparrow. This was a request he had never heard before. Klein hesitated for a moment. Finally, she pretended to coldly say with the world's identity, since you requested... I wish you happiness. Audrey's smile turned into a beaming smile. I wish you happiness too. Bro, Audrey's so cute. I love Audrey. I love Audrey so much. Dude, if anything happens to Audrey, throwing hands. She's just such a cutie. I wish you happiness too. Mr. World, don't always keep everything inside. Smile more and be happier. Here's the thing. I can eliminate most of the latent problems. Alright, your mental problems have been resolved, but you will need to follow up appointment in the next few days or by next week. Klein was at a loss for answers as he tersely acknowledged in affirmation. No. What happens to her? Stop it. No. Nothing happens to her, right? I'm not kidding. Like, you guys better be joking. I don't want anything to happen to her. There's, like, a few characters where I'm like, I think Derek, because I'm like, Derek's already been through a lot. I want my boy to be happy. I want nothing to happen to Audrey. Obviously, Melissa and Benson. Susie. Who else? And then I'm thinking, like, Leonard. I don't want anything to happen to Leonard. And probably other characters have already died, and I'm like, okay, that sucks. Oh, Dally and Klein. Those would be the 8 characters that I have a list where I'm just like, I want nothing bad to happen. And Amon, you know what? Keep my boy safe. Keep my boy safe. I want him. I want him to be good. But yeah, Klein, I feel like Klein is top priority. I don't want anything to happen to him. But also, like, kind of everybody else. That's kind of like the whole thing with it, you know? Hello. Follow appointment next few weeks. Klein was at a loss for an answer, and he tersely acknowledged an affirmation. Then he heard the door on the other side creak open. With the fool's agile, he saw Miss Jessup retreat from the confessional and straighten her body. After sending her to the real world, Klein didn't dare stay above the gray fog for too long. He quickly left and got into bed. At that moment, his mental condition had been restored with the body and mind at ease. He realized something. He had digested quite a bit of his marionette's potion. The progress had surprised his expectations. This is because I relied on my marionette to fool a demigod. Penny and orchestrated her and Mr. A to complete my planned outperformance in the foggy town. Therefore, apart from trying to hide behind the shadows and let every marionette have their own persona to make it more realistic, the marionette's principles include use one's... Fuck, I gotta write this down because I know you guys are gonna put this on the test. Use one's marionette as a guide to control the enemy, to play the role of a puppet. It was small leg, just small. Harsh thought as a muttered inwardly, and thought he believed that he could digest the potion before the end of the year. He exhaled with mixed feelings as he turned his head and looked to the crimson moonlight that penetrated the curtains as he silently said, that missing servant should have been found. The clues I left behind should have been discovered as well. In the basement of St. Samuel Cathedral, Leonard, Cindy, Bob... My book. It's disappeared. Right as I said Bob name. Cursed. Bob and company looked at Captain Soaz, who had returned from meeting with the patiently waited for him to introduce new clues. Soaz drank the mouthful of aromatic coffee and said, the missing servant has been found, and in the room he was left in, there was some clothes left behind and I'm so sorry. Infiltrator. It has been confirmed that it belongs to the crazy adventurer Gammon Sparrow, who had previously been active at sea. Bro, Klein, what is he doing? It's getting sloppy. They're gonna figure him out. Theory time. So do you guys remember? Bro, that made my forehead look so big. Oh my god. No. Theory time. Do you guys remember when I think it was like it was like a while ago. Is Leonard gonna piece together all of Klein's personas and like piece together the Dwayne Dantes and the Gammon Sparrow and then the Sherlock Morardi and like put them all together, and then he's gonna figure out that it's Klein? Is that gonna happen? Is he gonna find out? Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna go vandalize a grave and dig him out and be like, there's no body, I fucking knew it? That's what I'm saying. I think that, here's the thing. Hate to say it, I feel like Klein's gonna have to, I think the committee of Kleins are gonna have to put a hit out on Leonard, because he's learning too much. He's learning too much. They gotta send their little hitman, Garamond Sparrow, out, put a hit on Leonard. The committee of Kleins. And in the room he was left in, there was some clothes up behind the entrance. It was Garamond Sparrow, who had previously been active at sea. I need a therapist? Why me? First off, I have one. Second off, why do I need one, though? I don't want Leonard dead. I don't want Leonard dead at all. I never said I wanted Leonard dead. I just said, if I was Klein, he's getting a little too close to learning the truth. What did I involve another crazy venture? Leonard was somewhat puzzled as he directly said, when did he come to Backland? No one knows. The only thing that can be confirmed is that the crazy venture had appeared at sea in the recent few weeks and had hunted a few pirates. So as said in an unperturbed tone. The Church of Storms knows more. MI9 also seems to know quite a bit. The higher-ups will send people to Lias, 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 L-I-A-I-S-E, Lais, 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 Las, Lais. Thank you. Sent some people to follow up with them. Just as Soas finished the briefing and telegram was sent over, it came from the Nighthawks in Desi. Content which was decoded. Read. Dwayne Dantes' present identity is fake. In the past 10 years he spent in the southern continent, he had relied on adventuring to amass a significant amount of wealth. Further confirmation will require some time, as this place is very chaotic and there are often wars. The jurisdiction of zones are frequently changed. Exactly, here's the thing, exactly what Klein thought they were going to do. He's like, I've got some time. I'm just going to say that this is what this is. Bro, Klein's so smart. He's right behind me, isn't he? I took English in school, and I actually did really well in English. Thank you! Thank you! That's what... Thank you. Finally, got somebody on my team. Other than Stan. We're building it up. It's building up. Thank you. Sounds like David, let's be honest, David. You're on the team, but you're not on there by choice. I forcefully keep you on the team, Like, it's not like if you could be there, you would be there. It's, you gave me an inch, I took a mile. Now I've entrapped you with blackmail, so you won't leave, David's, no, literally. That's what it is. Absolutely. Oh, sound the alarms, everybody. David did his job. First time in, what, a month? How much slander have you added? That's what I'm wondering. No, bro, I don't know if you were here for it, but I once told a story about how I was in grade 2, was brought into a special English class because I couldn't read, and I didn't know that I couldn't read, and I thought I was being brought into that class because I was good at reading, but in actuality, it was because I couldn't read, and I cried. Sounds like a contrived story. Ever since the news sea route that discovered there had been no end to stories of people becoming rich from taking risks. SOAS casually commented on the comment of Telegram as he thought and looked towards the particular red gloves. I recall that we had investigated Dwayne Dantes before he had exchanged him with his dreams. Yes, the red gloves who were responsible for the task nodded and replied, I didn't directly ask him about such matters, but I could tell that Dwayne Dantes was very familiar with the southern continent. He had plenty of experiences there. That might be information that Dwayne Dantes deliberately revealed to you. Leonard had his doubts regarding the content of the telegram, believing that this was another layer of disguise from the underlying monster who had lived since the fourth epoch. Wait, I have a question. Now I'm forgetting. Does that mean that the gray fog has been around since the fourth epoch? Because that's what's inside Klein? Is it something, is the thing that's inside Klein, like the whole thing, that's been around since the fourth epoch? So it was created in the fourth epoch? Holy fuck. Did I just, glaze over that fact? Well, because every time Leonard's, has been since the fourth epoch, he's talking about the thing that's inside Klein. Which, or is inside Garmin, No one, it's just the gray fog. Maybe that's what it is. I was just it says since the fourth epoch, so I was just oh, does that mean that the gray fog was created in the fourth epoch? But if not, then that, okay. However, he didn't inform his teammates about the conjecture because he had no basis for them. SOAS didn't pay great attention to the matter, and he said, do you have any problems with the clues related to Garmin Sparrow? Since this crazy adventure was still at sea in recent weeks, when did he come to Backland? As a nightmare, Cindy repeated her doubts. What I'm concerned about isn't exact time, but whether he has the time to travel to Backland. After all, he rather far from the sea. SOAS nodded gently and said, in the meeting, a deacon raised this question. According to the time and venue of Garmin Sparrow's last sighting, he normally has no way to arrive in Backland last night and complete an infiltration. Of course, I'm referring to normal circumstances. The missing servant told us that when he was sweeping the square, he suddenly lost control of his body. He froze in the spot and wasn't able to cry for help. Then he saw bright colors in an abstract oil painting, and he felt that his body was floating upwards. Later, he lost consciousness, and after waking, he found himself in the room in Eastborough. The former matches with the keeper's description of being possessed by a wraith, and the latter is suspected to be a traveler's teleport. If it really is a teleporter, then Garmin Sparrow can appear in Backland at any moment. As elites of the Nighthawks, the Red Gloves knew about the various Beyonder pathways far better than their colleagues, which were at the same level. There was no stranger to wraiths and travelers. After listening to the captain's explanation, another Red Glove added in thought. It's rumored that Admiral of Blood, who was hunted by Garmin Sparrow, is a wraith. The details matched. As for Garmin Sparrow being able to obtain the powers of a wraith, it wasn't unacceptable. The easiest method was to find an artisan who makes one prey into a mystical item. Cindy recalled even more information about the stimulus. It said that Garmin Sparrow has the ability to change his appearance, and the infiltrator has disguised himself as a keeper. Another detail matched. Excellent thinking. SOAS raised his hand and rubbed his temples. According to these details, we can come to a preliminary consensus that the infiltrator is Garmin Sparrow, and this way, the name list we came up with be erroneous. Garmin Sparrow doesn't need a companion to frequently come to the cathedral to pray to gather information. He can change his appearance every day and enter to figure out a situation. This will be more indiscreet than using a companion. Damn. You know what? This is reminding me of my theories about the book. Listening to them, solve this case, it's like looking in a mirror. As the large and most holy church of the Evernight Cathedral in Backland, the number of believers that came to St. Samuel Cathedral on a daily basis were too numerous to count. No bishop could remember any unfamiliar faces they once met. That also means that the names that were... Thanks, Harsh. The names that we have here now are meaningless. Leonard raised his hands and rubbed his brows, sounding rather desultory. That's somewhat obvious. Our focus now should be on Garum and Sparrow. The other targets can be placed aside. As you perform the most basic level of surveillance, having said that, the Soas clapped and said, "All right, get busy." Leonard didn't have many objections. He happened to hope and find the machinery hive mind, mandated punishers, and MI9 to gather some information. On Tuesday morning, Klein woke up naturally, feeling relaxed and calm. He had a feeling of joyful emotions slowly coming to life. The psychiatrists beyond her powers are quite useful after all. It really matches the extremely infectious optimism that Miss Justice always brings with her. Klein got out of bed and drew his curtains. He leisurely took in the scenery outside, the scattering gold sunlight. He regained his dive and began formulating his plans for the next couple of months and even the year. First, get a new marionette. Second, use the identity of Dwayne Dantes and control over a marionette to orchestrate scripts to expedite the digestion of a potion. I read that wrong. It was formulate, but it was like 4, and then it had the dash, and then the mulate was like underneath. Yeah. Third, during the process, slowly gathered ingredients needed for the Bizarro secret potion. In regards, I can ask Little Son about the Bizarro bone to see if he has any clues. I'll seek Mr. Azek's help regarding the spirit world plunderer. After all, the underworld is part of the spirit world. Fourth, I'll continue investigating the Great Smog of Backland and find the true culprit. This includes Insangwell, as well as the demigod that killed Crazy Captain. There aren't any targets more suitable than them for my advancement ritual. However, I have to be careful of 0-08. I have to constantly keep watch of any intentional coincidences. I'll just dabble in the matter in an ordinary manner and mainly provide support. The dangerous investigations can be handled by Demoness Trissy. Klein's thought process slowly became clear. Although he felt worried and fearful, this no longer affected his mental state and capacity to take action. Retracting his gaze from outside the balcony, Klein walked into the bathroom and washed up. Soon he heard the door while feeling highly spirited, and he saw the valet, Richardson, and butler Walter waiting outside. The gentlemen that were wearing white gloves as he politely bowed and said, "Good morning, sir. There's only one item for your schedule today. It's to join an event at the East Bala Military Veterans Mess with Member of Parliament match and 3 in the afternoon. He's a new Member of Parliament, so by accepting his invitation, it will also indicate your political inclinations. You still have an opportunity to be hesitant about it." Klein thought for a moment before saying, "There's no need, it's my choice." He paused and asked in an inquiring tone, "It will be my first time visiting the East Bala Military Veterans Mess. What should I take note of?" "Praise their work, then, that they have established in East Bala. Use the opportunity to make some donations. There's no need to give too much or too little. £500 is a rather suitable sum." Just a measly £500. No big deal. Just, more money than most people will see in their entire life. It's fine. £500. Seriously, no matter what circle I enter, I'll have to spend large sums of money. This is because Dwayne Dantes doesn't have any birthright or background. He can only open a pathway with cash. When art imitates life. Klein nodded gently and agreed with his butler's suggestion. At the same time, he quickly did a count on his present assets. The artisan hasn't completed the work regarding the ocean songster, but the money from Mentor of Disorder and Druid has been obtained. That's a total of £16,000. With the cash I originally had on hand, subtracting the £13,000 I used to purchase 3% of the coin company shares, as well as the daily expenses of the tycoon's household and the donations to the cathedral, there's still £23,985 and 5 gold coins left. Did I not already read this? Bro, I just got this weirdest sense of deja vu. In addition, I still owe Miss Messenger 3,413 gold coins, 500 pounds has already exceeded 2% of the cash I have on hand. Klein didn't speak further as he walked out of bedroom going to the second floor where the dining room was ordered to have breakfast. In the basement... No, that was so... As I was reading, I was like, we've read this exact paragraph before. It was like... probably like 40 chapters ago. Weird. In the basement of St. Salmon Cathedral, Leonard Mitchell returned to his office earlier than his teammates. He had already obtained the relevant information and had learned of the inconspicuous matter. Prince Adisak, who passed away in the Great Smog of Backland, had once hired a private detective to investigate the death of the Estrian teacher Tamlin Dumont, and that private detective's name was Sherlock Morardi. As expected, there are hints of him being involved with the Great Smog of Backland. Leonard was delighted as he excitedly ruffled his hair. Following that, he pondered down the documents on his desk with a fist, planning to seek out even more clues. Okay, but the numbers were different. Okay, that's what I thought, because I was like, I feel like I've read this exact thing before. I actually thought I was losing my mind for a second, I'm not gonna lie. However, he silently... Welcome. Happy you could join. However, he suddenly felt silent for 8 seconds before raising his cup of embarrassment and drank a mouthful of coffee. He mumbled inwardly, "What did I want to do? I forgot about it after the pounding." After some careful recall, Leonard finally recalled what it was. He pulled out his drawer and took out a deck of tarot cards. Then he found the Fool card and placed it on the piece of paper. On it, he wrote 3 names: Sherlock Morardi, Garamond Sparrow, Dwayne Dantes. After some hesitation, Leonard drew a line linking the 3 names of the Fool card, indicating that they might very well be members of a secret organization that believe in the Fool. Surprise, surprise! They're actually all the same person. Okay, sorry I don't remember the numbers. Among them, there's the most unsure of Garamond Sparrow's identities. He wrote a question mark. Later, Leonard took out the Emperor card and stuck it beside the name Sherlock Morardi. He labeled it Suspect to Be. Garamond Sparrow and Dwayne Dantes each corresponded to a card. Leonard muttered silently. He took out the crazy adventurer's records and began reading them seriously. Suddenly, he found a very familiar date. Early January. Garamond Sparrow's first appearance was in early January. No way! Leonard drew a gasp and flipped through another set of documents. At the end, there were words. At the end of December, Sherlock Morardi left Backland and headed south for vacation. Bro, Leonard's figuring it out. No. Leonard's figuring it out. He has yet to return. End of December, early January. Backland, Prince Harbor, Garamond Sparrow can change his appearance. No way, Leonard mumbled inwardly as he drew a dotted line, equal line between Sherlock Morardi and Garamond Sparrow. The great detective is the key. Leonard found Sherlock Morardi's portrait. No. Leonard found Sherlock Morardi's portrait that he had drawn via the ritual. As he carefully looked at it, he considered the point that looks can be changed. He began imagining the detective in different disguises. No! Leonard, no. Bro, Leonard's about to figure it all out. As he did, Leonard's gaze froze bit by bit as he couldn't help but frown. He's too close to the truth. He's gonna figure it out. Oh my god. Bro, I can't help but smile. Okay, here's the thing. Since this volume started, Leonard and Klein have just been, like, meeting up with each other all the time. They've been edging us. Cuttlefish has been edging us with this since this volume started. He's like, are they? Yes, they are. They are. This is all I've wanted. But I wonder if he's gonna be, like, mad. Like, what if he's upset? Or what if he cries? What if he's, like, so happy that he cries? Bro, oh my god. Okay, Leonard stared intently as the portrait of Sherlock Moriarty. His brain had just imagined what the... Oh, music change? Music change to what? Music change to what? No! No, don't music change me. Don't music change me. This better not be like... This better be like a good... This better be a good music change. Like a happy one, you know? One where I'm just like, oh, yay! And I don't have to cry. I'm so excited. Oh my god. Okay. Leonard stared intently at the portrait of Sherlock Moriarty. His brain had just imagined what the latter would look like without glasses and a beard. No! Leonard, stop! Stop before it's too late. Stop before it's too late. Although this could be quite different from the actual situation, it was more of a product of imagination. Leonard increasingly found Sherlock Moriarty very familiar, as though he had known him before. How is this possible? He's long dead, and I buried him with my own hands! Oh my god. He couldn't help but shake his head and mutter with a scoff. Just as he said that, the expression froze because the person in his memories held a huge secret. This person had strangely escaped the influence of 2-049 without the help of others. This person used 2-049's uniqueness to finish off a sequence of Beyonder, and back then, he was only a seer who isn't good at combat. This person had managed to summarize the acting method within a very short amount of time, and he had advanced the sequence 8 at an extraordinary pace. Oh my god. This person possessed a high sequence sun domain charm and had used it with Captain Dunsmith, who wielded a saint's ashes, successfully finishing off Magos, who was pregnant with the evil god Spawn. This person's secret 8 bionic characteristic had been taken away by Insangwell, but Captain Dunsmith Sequence 7 bionic characteristic was left behind. Perhaps it wasn't because Insangwell had taken away the bionic characteristic which he had appeared, causing it to be missing from the scene, but that it had never formed to begin with. Leonard Mitchell suddenly jolted to his senses as he observed Sherlock Moriarty's portrait again. Don't look at it! Don't look at it! 10 seconds later, he squeezed the words through his clenched teeth. Klein Moretti. Oh my god, I've been waiting for this! I'm so excited right now! He found that the mysterious detective Sherlock Morardi looked more and more like his former teammate, the hero who saved Tinge and Klein Moretti, and this was unable under the scenario of him being without a clear discrepancies of glasses and a beard. Leonard, his fingers clenched tightly at some point in time as he jolted, suffused with whiteness. After a moment, he let out a clear pant as he picked up Sherlock Moriarty's dossier again. This time, he flipped with the target in mind roughly to the time when Sherlock first appeared in Backland. No, I don't know how to feel. It was September! And this wasn't long after Klein Moretti had been buried. Leonard Mitchell's green eyes turned dark as he instinctively flipped through the dossier. Then he saw the name Lenivas. This was one of the masterminds behind the evil god's descent in Tingen City. He was one of the main murderers who led to the death of Dunsmith and Klein Moretti in the other Nighthawks. And Sherlock Moriarty's second record in Backland was his investigation of the dock for a serial murder, thus bumping into the disguised Lenivas. After this, the true creator's plan of descending was foiled and Lenivas died in the sewers. His body was scattered with tarot cards, making it identical to the style of this subsequent hero, Bandit Black Emperor. He didn't forget the harm and swindler brought. Leonard whispered silently, his expression softening. He quickly flipped through the document and sat in the chair, motionless for an extended period of time. It was as though he had fallen asleep in the shadows brought about by the light. After a few minutes, Leonard finally moved. He leaned into the chair and said with a deep voice, "Old man, do you think this detective, Sherlock Moriarty, resembles the teammate back in Tingen City, Klein Moretti?" In his mind, his aged voice said with some hesitation, "The one who joined the Nighthawks because of the Antigonus family's notebook?" "Yes," Leonard answered in a heavy voice. In his body, the parasite said after 2 seconds, "There's some resemblance." After receiving the reply, Klein once again felt silent. After a long while, he took out the golden pocket watch and snapped it open to determine time was still moving. Leonard snapped the pocket watch closed and stood up, nearly overturning the stack of documents. He hurriedly reached out his hand and held on to the document that he left behind a note, saying that he had found certain clues and planned to head out and do some investigation, thus making it possible that he would return very late. Let me Let me see if someone is pretending to be Tinjin City's hero, or if you've always been wearing masks, a secret organization member who snuck into the Nighthawks. Your true motives aren't much. No, it's not that. It's not that. No, I promise you, it's not that. Your true motives aren't much loftier than insane. Well, you were also targeting something behind Channing's gate. Leonard no longer had that aloof attitude in his eyes narrowed as he quickly left St. Samuel's Cathedral basement. No! I promise you, don't doom the Yowie, Leonard. Don't do it. Leonard, no. They just need to talk. In Hillstoneboro, outside the building with quite a unique architecture, Dwayne Dantes got off his carriage. Okay, next music at the end of this chapter. Dwayne Dantes got off his carriage and saw the building that was built in the style of the late Fourth Epoch. The building was mostly comprised of huge stone slabs, creating a total of 4 stories. The window on each level were like the door, and it was matched with a tiny balcony. The entire facade had been withered and elements revealing the sand yellow color. The stone columns and the arches held up by a refined porch that made it seem rather magnificent. This was the East Ballin Military Veterans Best. Is Leonard gonna be there? Oh my god. Are they gonna have a heated rivalry moment in the middle of this military ball? Stop it. I'll change it back. Even though it's built in the ancient style, it still has more of 100 years of history. As he spoke, he led Dwayne Dantes into the club and said to the lady in the reception, Dwayne Dantes, unofficial member, I'll be his recommendeer. With that said, he turned to the tycoon and explained, bro, that's what it's giving. He's been betrayed. Leonard feels so betrayed. I don't know how to feel. But you, not his dear poet. No, anybody but his dear poet. Have never participated in ways that happened there. You don't even have a military background, so there's no way for you to be an unofficial member. However, even being an unofficial member will allow you to free entry and use the various facilities. You'll be able to enjoy the delicious food and alcohol and get to know different friends. What friends? That's exactly what I was hoping for. Klein nodded with a smile after a beautiful lady who was in the southern continent finished her registration. Madge added, there's no administration fee, it's £60 a year in the membership. With that said, he chuckled and said, it's not expensive and even more so for you. Here you will get to come into contact with all kinds of weapons. There are enough shooting ranges to provide you with shooting practice. You can even learn horse riding. At a club of this level, £60 really isn't expensive after all. Generals often appear here and there are many famous chefs. Klein didn't speak further as he took out his wallet. He counted £60 and gave it to the receptionist, obtaining a badge with the logo of the forest, ocean, and blades. This was the place filled. No, literally, he's like, £60. Whatever, more money than anybody will see in their lifetime. But for me, Dwayne Dantes, pocket change. If I wish to contribute to the cause, who should I look for? Match pointed to the receptionist. Just give it to her. She will jot down the announcement on the notice board of there. Klein nodded silently and said, all right. He then turned his head to Maid Richardson take out the £500 he had already prepared. After giving the donation, Klein passed through the beautiful decorated foyer and Match arrived in the room that resembled the activity room. As for the valet, Richardson remained outside of the break room. There were snacks, teas, and coffee there. In the small room, though Match's introduction, Klein got to know 5 officers who were either still in the service or retired. Apart from the particular House of the Common Members Parliament, the highest-ranking equivalent was Colonel Calvin. He was presently working at the Lowen Kingdom Ministry of Defense. However, his actual position was unknown. According to what Klein knew, the quasi-high-ranking members of the military and the rank of the colonel were the most beyonders mid-sequence. Match, Calvin, and company quickly began chatting. Klein didn't interject as he seriously listened to their conversations according to the echoing silence, or 2. Bro, I got so excited. The Yowie was so... Okay, hold up. I'm not gonna lie. The Yowie was so good there for a minute. It truly, truly was. It truly was. I was on the edge of my seat. I was waiting, and I'm still waiting for it. I need them to meet each other. Klein smiled and replied, yes, the place is more chaotic than East Balham. Calvin laughed as he heard, of course, Intis made too many mistakes over there. He paused and continued asking, how is your relationship with the people from Intis over there? Klein didn't understand the colonel's motives, but he bit the bullet and said, it's all right. They're all very greedy. In fact, he didn't know a single one. He had only heard Anderson mention a few names in the corresponding manner. Calvin nodded and raised another question. Are you familiar with the tribes over there, as well as the resistance? I know some. Klein answered vaguely. He only knew one Intis military leader of the resistance. It was a former Intis princess, Queen Mystic Bernadette. Calvin laughed as he took a sip from his cup of red wine. During the process, no one spoke, including Match. After putting down his cup, Calvin looked at Dwayne Dantes again and said, This is the thing. Every year we would obsolete many rifles and cannons and directly destroy them and processing them too much of the waste and cost too much. It's a good solution. I'm not sure if you're interested in buying the batch and selling it to West Balham. You can sell it to the regions ruled by Intis, selling them to the tribes and resistance. Trust me, this is definitely a very lucrative business. Of course, it's also very dangerous. If you're caught by Intis in West Balham, we will disavow you. This is making me an arms... Little fun side quest for Klein. Illegal arms dealing. Let's go. This is one of the most lucrative businesses, although I'm not familiar with West Balham at all and lack any connections. Klein secretly heaved a sigh of relief and nodded with a smile. I can sell it to Queen Mystic and the resistance of the Roast Archipelago. Also, I know what obsolete means. I just can't read it. Klein was tempted to, thank you though, deliberately wore a mixed and hesitant expression. Stop, I skipped ahead. I didn't mean to. Oh my god. I've never done such things before, but it's definitely attractive enough. Calvin laughed and said, there's no need to rush to the dissolution and very important matter and required such a, just give me your answer match before the end of the weekend. Klein secretly heaved a sigh of relief and nodded with a smile. All right. Okay. Oh my god. Am I changing music back to what I changed it back before? I'm changing it back to more. I'm assuming I'm changing it back to what I changed it back before. Oh my god. Tangent City! Okay, Raphael Cemetery. Although the afternoon sun was rather strong, this place remained gloomy and cold. Leonard was standing in front of the grave, staring silently at the tombstone. Oh my god. This is all I wanted. Hurry up! Okay, the sun hung brightly in midair in the dark, silent corridor in the cemetery. Leonard Mitchell silently raised his shoved behind him. The two mounds of soil. Oh my god. The two mounds of soil at the side gradually raised in height as the coffin pit became obvious. From time to time, there was passers-by, but none didn't notice anything, as though the dream was happening over there. Finally, Leonard threw the shovel and bent down. He reached out and grabbed the end of the coffin lid with both hands. Using immense strength, he pulled open the heavy wooden lid and discovered that the thick, long nails had fallen off at some point. There was nothing inside the pitch-black coffin! Oh my god, there was nothing. Leonard continued keeping his body hunched as he silently watched the scene without any further movement. He stood there like a petrified statue for a very long time. Leonard, go get your boy! Get back to Backland and go get your boy. In his hazy dream, Klein saw the tombstone. With an epitaph that stood silently among other tombstones as he died in crimson moonlight. The scene shattered immediately as Klein snapped awake. He confirmed that he was still Dwayne Dantes and that he was still inside 160 Oakland Street master bedroom. The dream seemed to be telling me something. As a seer, Klein treated every dream seriously. This was no exception. He focused and shook himself into a state of drowsiness before attempting to make an interpretation. That's likely a tomb. This represents a particular deceased or something related to resurrection. The crimson moonlight represented the goddess, corresponding to the Church of Evernight and the Nighthawks that were directly seen at the moon. Oh my god. This might involve the primordial moon vampire, ancestor Lilith, and the mother tree of desire. The tomb was dyed with a color almost resembling blood that symbolized something bad. As Klein did an interpretation of the dream, he gathered all the content and attempted to make an effective, meaningful conclusion. After some serious thought, he began to believe that the dream revelation was referring to the past him and the Church of Evernight. After making the connection of what had happened happened the past few days, Klein slowly came to the answer. As Dwayne Dantes, he repeated headed for St. Samuel Cathedral. He must have been added to the list of suspects. If Leonard hasn't left Backland, this must have garnered his attention. After all, he knows that Dwayne Dantes isn't a simple person and has mysterious origins. As an angel from the Marauder pathway, Leonard's grandpa probably discovered that the Grey Fog and the Seer pathway has intricate ties and knows that the corresponding... Bro, how is he going to explain this? How is she going to explain this? Corresponding sequence 0 is called the Fool. This way, they will naturally be able to make connections with the honorific name of the Fool that was previously spread, and they would believe that I'm a member of the secret organization that worships the Fool. And developing on this clue, it can also involve the person who killed Lenivas and Hero Bandit Black Emperor who used tarot cards. Along with Garamond Sparrow's clues I deliberately left behind, as well as Leonard's previous investigation into Sherlock Morardi, it's not impossible for him to put together things and find what's highly dubious. And in the beginning, Sherlock Moriarty's disguise wasn't too good. As long as Leonard investigates seriously, it wouldn't be difficult to discover that the great detective resembles his former colleague. So he went to Tingen to dig up the grave for confirmation. As he thought about the matter, Klein pulled the black cushion over and sat up. He felt that he had already found the answer to his dream. He began seriously analyzing what could happen afterwards, considering if he should abandon the identity of Dwayne Dantes. Leonard has no way of conveying his theories and conclusions to the other Nighthawks because he won't be able to explain the key points for his interference. This is exposed his own secret. Based on my experience and my understanding of him, he will steer the matter via different means. This will be more complicated and troublesome, wasting even more time. Before that happens, I should find him and give him another warning. No, don't give him a warning. Don't give him a warning. Don't give him a warning. Just talk to him. Just talk to him. I should snuff out whatever is in his mind. After all, the church didn't suffer any material loss, nor did anyone die. Yes, for Dwayne Dantes, I have taken note of the time. I specifically created tracks of my activity in the southern continent over the past few months, staggering it with the decline of Garamond Sparrow's sightings, and this involves the Intis colony, so it will be rather difficult to verify the matter. That also means that Leonard has, at best, figured out that Garamond Sparrow equals Sherlock Morardi equals Klein Moretti. He will just believe that I am in cahoots with them, part of the secret organization that believes in the Fool. To him, Dwayne Dantes is a powerful, mysterious beyonder who can sense the grandpa in him, a demigod that is obviously disparity than other identities. Holy shit. Klein soon came to the countermeasure as he turned his attention to the matter that encountered East Balam military veterans mess in the afternoon. Why would they directly seek me out for such a private arms deal? I just established a friendship with Match and hadn't experienced any tests. I don't deserve such trust. Perhaps it's a test. In the beginning, it will just be rifles and cannons. The quality won't probably be limited, nor will it involve high-quality items. Furthermore, I need to come up with the cash before receiving the goods. If I have any real problems, I can't read it. They will suffer any losses. They will only suffer the repercussions of a small batch of weapons falling into hands with their own domain of control. Yes, to them, a tycoon like me with a complicated background and a deep understanding of West Balam really is an excellent condition. First, I have money. Second, I have guns. Third, I have resources and social connections, allowing the arms to sold to suitable factions. Fourth, I have background in the upper echelons of the kingdom. I can always be made an scapegoat and be abandoned. They must have seen people monitor me in secret, along with the business is smooth, complicated. I'll be in close partner with the military. This will aid in my investigation of the truth behind the Great Slog of Backland. The problem is, now that I have zero actual knowledge of West Balam's resistance and various tribes, I have no idea what the fellow Anderson is. Bro, is he getting the gang back together? Is he getting the gang back together? Also, I see someone said bye. Okay, bye. Thanks so much for coming. Is I don't have any method of contact either. Dantes might be aware of the situation in West Balam. Some of the Mam Hermit, like White Queen Mystic, who's backing her, I'll first gather intelligence from these channels. Having made up his mind, Klein working brain slowed down in a sense of drowsiness and washed over him. Again, he let his body slide down bit by bit and got under the blankets. In the basement of St. Sam Cathedral, No! I don't want to go back to Leonard. I feel so bad for him. In the basement of St. Simon Cathedral, Leonard, who was returned from Tingen, managed to be in time for the team's internal meeting. Soas first briefed them on the conclusion that the Archbishop and what the local Nighthawks team had obtained. With the help from the Holy Cathedral, St. Anthony was confirmed that the infiltrator is Garamond Sparrow, and conclusion is that the crazy criminal is still alive but doesn't exist in this world. This is truly a contradictory statement. It doesn't understand it as well. His Grace didn't explain anything either. In short, our focus will be the investigation of Garamond Sparrow. According to the information provided by MI9, Garamond Sparrow is a fake identity. He originally came from Backland. After Soas finished the briefing, he asked, "Do you have anything to add?" Leonard opened his mouth and was just about to say something, but his eyes shimmered twice before he fell silent again. Soas turned his head and glanced to him, calling him out by his name. "Leonard, did you discover any clues?" Leonard remained silent for a second before shrugging. "That clue has been eliminated." No. Soas didn't ask any further as he looked to the other teammates. After a series of supplementary information analysis, he began assigning his mission to the Red Glove team. After everything was assigned, Leonard Mitchell held a list name that required him to enter the dreams for the cross-check. He returned to the break room and threw his body into bed. He sat there silently as he raised his hands and combed his hair, preparing to begin taking action. However, the first dream he entered wasn't anyone on the name list. His target was Dwayne Dantes! Oh my god! 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 After repeating considerations, he decided to speak in the organization member's underlying monster from the fourth epoch face to face. He wanted to see what information he could sound out. This looked somewhat rash, but the both parties knowing each other's secrets, it was still a good chance. 160 Oakland Street, Klein's drowsy mind suddenly became clear as he knew that someone had entered his dreams. Yes, he did. He pondered silently, sitting in the reclining chair, and turning his head to look at the balcony, he saw the black-haired, green-eyed man wearing a white shirt and black vest nimbly leap inside. He was none other than Leonard Mitchell. "I haven't gone looking for you, and here you are coming at my doorstep." The other Nighthawks would politely knock on the door before entering. Only you would jump into balconies. Clennard? Bro, new ship name, Clennard. Klein lampooned as he looked at the poet approaching him. At this moment, in Leonard's eyes, Dwayne Dantes was still wearing a formal suit in his dreams. His sideburns were gray, and he had an angular face with an immense amount of charm. At this moment, the tycoon wore a smile, as though he wasn't hiding the fact that he remained lucid, and he wasn't affected by the nightmare. "Did Pallet Zoraz teach you some manners?" "Didn't Palace Zoraz teach you some manners?" Klein said with a tone he believed matched Leonard's impression of him. "Pallet Zoraz, he's warning me again." Leonard was taken aback and he remembered the name. He quickly reined in his thoughts and bowed in the manner that lacked standards. "Please pardon me for the intrusion. You are on your investigation list. Was the infiltration done by you guys, or is that your goal for coming to Backland?" "No." Klein, in his Dwayne Dantes guise, raised a cup of red wine and sipped it. "It's not us, but just him alone." He put on an act that wasn't afraid of Leonard's knowing. "Garamond Sparrow?" Leonard asked in a deep tone. Klein glanced at him with deep blue eyes and seemed to have seen the vicissitudes of life. "Isn't that obvious?" What does he actually want to do?" "He didn't take anything away." Leonard took the opportunity to ask. Klein raised his hands and stroked his white sideburns and chuckled. "What do you think the answer is?" Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, I can stop now? Do I have to stop now? I can stop now. I can. Are we done with the whole thing though? Do I have to stop now? I mean, we're not done with their confidence. Can I read one more chapter? You guys don't even have to stay. I'm actually just gonna read one more chapter. You guys don't even have to stay. I'm actually just gonna read one more chapter. So if you should I leave it? I'm reading it tomorrow. So guys, I just got my Leonard and Klein meet. I've been waiting all fucking book. I'm gonna read it because I miss them so much. I just want to read one more chapter, you know? Just one more. 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 You know? And then we can be done. Okay, what do you think? If I were to know the answer, why would I be here? I'd have long handed this information to my superiors. Leonard smiled, mumbled, and he deliberated over his words. During this process, he discovered that although he was standing straight and looking down on Dwayne Dantes, the tycoon who was sitting leisurely in the reclining chair, he held the aura of having the advantage. It was like a high-ranking personage casually listening to a subordinate's reports. This made Leonard feel a little uneasy. He subconsciously surveyed the area and pulled the chair over as he leaned back into it, half out of habit and half out of deliberate action. I believe he or all of you are searching for something. I can stop at any time. I can stop at any time, you know? Back in Tingen, he infiltrated the Nighthawks to search for something in Backland and also infiltrated Channis Gate and searched for something item. His search was fruitless the first time, so he escaped by feigning death and using Insangle's assault. No. He still failed to find it the second time, hence he didn't take anything and directly left Channis Gate. While speaking, Leonard used a very certain tone to divulge that he had figured out Garamond Sparrow was Sherlock Morardi, who was Klein Moretti. He wished... No, stop! Sherlock Klein Moretti. He wished to use the effective pressure to make Dwayne Dantes not appear that calm or have any thoughts of restoring to sophistry. Indeed, he went to dig my grave. Klein sighed inwardly as he chuckled. He picked up the glass of red wine and gently swirled it. Klein, just give him a hug! Do you think that we would consecutively make 2 rash attempts before having any confirmed intelligence? You know what, that such matters can only be done once. Once there's a failure, there's no way you can succeed again. Therefore, who would use an operation to verify one's guess when the target isn't clear? He has tactically confirmed my explanation. Klein Moretti is Garamond Sparrow, Hero Black Bandit Emperor, a member of the secret organization who believes in the Fool. Leonard tried hard not to frown as he crossed his right leg and said, so it's not that nothing was found, but there was a failure due to other factors. During these 2 attempts, Tingen City St. Celine Cathedral and Backland St. Samuel Cathedral only shared 2 common items, sealed artifact 2-049 and the Antigonus family's notebook. Antigonus family's notebook, that's it. Klein Moretti joined the Nighthawks because of it. Although the process of interference is wrong, the answer is actually correct. Klein chuckled and said, our brains aren't there just for show. If his goal was the Antigonus family's notebook, there was no need for him to join the Nighthawks. Before you obtained it, he had plenty of opportunities, and even after you obtained it, he had no lack of opportunities to obtain it. You should understand the situation back then better than I do. Also, since the target was the Antigonus family's notebook, why did he take it away? Upon being mocked by Dwayne Dantes, Leonard Mitchell realized that the theory he came up with was spot on, filled with logical contradictions. He felt ashamed as he showed some anger. He slowly looked and took a deep breath and said, then why would he infiltrate Channis Gate using 2 different methods? And not only did he take someone away, but he didn't even leave anything behind. He even entered a strange state. Just as Leonard said that, he saw Dwayne Dantes with his gray sideburns produce a deep, profound smile. I'm not sure for the reason for the latent matters. Perhaps you should ask the Evernight Goddess. Goddess, what does that mean? Leonard instantly felt alarmed and puzzled. He found it unimaginable as to what had happened behind St. Samuel Cathedral's Channis Gate. Right on the heels of that, he heard Dwayne Dantes say with a deep laugh, as for your first question, I believe you are mistaken about something. Our organization's members come from different places and join for different reasons. Choosing to change their own faith is the process. As for what happens before that, their lives remain their own. Just like me, I had a past and have a present as well. For reasons why I came here is because of the last name I gave myself, Dantes, the return of the court. He joined the secret organization that worships the Fool for revenge and came to Backland. Leonard nodded in thought. Klein pushed for a few seconds as he casually sipped the red wine and wore a smile. He continued, similarly, he who was resurrected because the Antigonus family's notebook curse does it for vengeance as well. Klein had deliberately mentioned his present last name, Dantes, and mentioned revenge. It was to preemptively disguise himself from Gammon Sparrow and Klein Moretti. It was to prevent Leonard from later finding similar objects between the two and beginning a deeper connection from the similarities. By personally mentioning it, it framed the listener's thought process and made them subconsciously follow the logic of content, thus treating Dwayne Dantes and Klein Moretti as two completely different people. The only similarity was their thoughts of revenge, and in this world there weren't only two Avengers. Leonard lowered his cross leg unknowingly as he leaned forward. Vengeance? Who does he wish to seek revenge on? After asking the question, the elegant and handsome middle-aged gentleman curled the corners of his lip. Lenibus and in Sangwell. Leonard blurted out, and he couldn't help but have his expression repeatedly change. Finally, he fell silent. His green eyes looked ahead, unfocused, as though he was... as his thoughts a mystery. After a long silence, Leonard exhaled and released his original clenched hands. I just want them to talk. No, just tell him you're Klein, he asked with his voice a little hoarse. Lenibus was really killed by him, of course. Klein secretly sighed as he replied calmly. Leonard's mouth gaped open as he thought he wished to say something, but he didn't. He tightly pursed his lips. Realizing that the goals had been met, he immediately changed the topics and chuckled. If you have a similar goal or require help, you can also chant his honorific name. Perhaps you will receive a response. He? The secret existence, the fool. Leonard imagined that Dwayne Dantes was habitually prioritizing and attempting to develop the secret organization. Therefore, he didn't think further and replied with silence. Klein then laughed. By the way, help me pass a message to Palaz Zoras. One of your organization members encountered blasphemer Amen in the land of forsaken gods. This piece of information contained massive amounts of information, so much that Leonard was temporarily at a loss for response. His mind kept reverberating. Reverberating the relative information. The forsaken land of the gods, that even the 7 churches are unable to find. Their secret organization actually has members who can enter the forsaken land of the gods. Blasphemer Amen, old man told me that he's hiding from high secrets beyonders with the last name Amon. He was heavily injured by Amon and had no choice but to parasitize me. Dwayne Dantes' tone and attitude really is like an undying monster who lived from the 4th epoch. He's also at the same or a similar level as the old man. In front of me, I really don't feel any sense of superiority. I even feel like I'm lacking confidence. As his thoughts ran his head, Leonard forced himself to focus. I'll pass on the message on to him. Based on the circumstances after Leonard entered the dreams of others, it can be determined that the grandpa doesn't completely control his senses. Otherwise, he would definitely have an abnormal reaction when he hears the name Blasphemer Amon. Previously, Willis Upton's words also corroborates this point. Only when my dear poet... Stop! You can't do all of this. You can't do all of this and then be like, my dear poet. Fuck you. No. You don't get to do that. Oh, also hello for those who joined. Encounters true danger. Would the grandpa sense it and take action? Very good. He isn't a full parasite. As Klein interpreted the unspoken information, he smiled. You may leave. You can also relax. My goal isn't the Church of Evernight. My coming goals, not the ones of the past. Klein silently added inwardly. Leonard had already received enough information, thus he didn't dare overstay his welcome. He got and bowed, then he left Dwayne Dantes' dream. In a room on the back streets of the St. Samuel Cathedral, Leonard woke up and heard the aged voice of the parasitized in him echo in his mind. What did he say? Leonard deliberated over his words and said he directly admitted to being a member of a secret organization that believes in the fool. Likewise for Klein Moretti, whose alias is Gammon Sparrow. I just need him to be there. Their goal is for vengeance, their own vengeance. Palat Zoras felt silent for a second before saying, did he say how Klein Moretti could be resurrected, or how did he fake his death to such an extent? Leonard recalled and said the explanation he gave was a curse in the Antigonus family notebook. Curse. At this point, Leonard discovered that Dwayne Dantes' choice of words was rather strange. He had described the power of resurrecting the dead as a curse. Palat Zoras didn't seem to have any questions about that. After a few seconds of silence, he said, what else did he say? Leonard didn't hide it from him and said frankly, he mentioned Blasphemer Amon, saying that the member of their organization met him in the forsaken land of the gods. Old man, is that the Amon you mentioned? The aged voice replied after a while, probably. He paused for a moment before saying, I believe that Dwayne Dantes, no, the fool that's backing him, might be some old friend of mine. I promise you it's not. Or is it? Old man believes that he's at a higher level of Dwayne Dantes, or even higher. He's a gar-rounded angel. Leonard thought and asked, which old friend? Pallid Zoras didn't answer as he asked, are you going to find an opportunity to reveal the situation about Dwayne Dantes and Klein Moretti? Leonard felt silent and only heaved and said, more than 10 seconds later, not for now. Perhaps he and I and them have the chance of working together. And the church didn't suffer any material loss, so this time the parasite inside him didn't say a word, as though he had fallen asleep. Leonard slowly looked up and read the information in front of him. His eyes turned dark as he muttered, he's overtaken me by leaps and bounds. Oh. Poor Leonard. No, I love him so much. I just want him to be happy. I saw Dantes' name in the next chapter. Bro, everybody's coming back. We're running them all back. Here's the thing. I think from the way that the second half of volume 4 is going, I feel like I'm really gonna like it. You know? I feel like I'm really, really gonna like it. So, we'll stop here. Yeah, we'll stop here. We'll stop here, because if we don't, I'm gonna just keep reading. Probably for like another 10 chapters. But I will stop here, and I am reading tomorrow night anyway, so I don't really care. Like, it's fine. I'm back tomorrow night, so that's fine. Okay, other than that, thanks so much for coming. Always a blast. Yeah. Dude, I just want to read more. I don't want to stop. Okay, if I was to keep reading, how many chapters could I read before I would have to stop? Okay, fine. Fine, everyone's saying goodbye. Goodbye, thank you so much for coming. I'll be back tomorrow to read another chunk of chapters. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.